Today I am going to discuss the Mughal Empire. The Mughal Empire in India was founded by Jahiruddin Babar. His ancestors were Taimur on his father's side and Changiz Khan on his mother's. His descendants were called Mughal because of their Mongol ancestry. Babar was 11 when he inherited the small principality of Fargana in the Central Asia. Babar's dream was to become a master of Central Asia. He made many unsuccessful attempts in the pursuit of this dream. He finally turned eastward and captured Kabul in 1504. He had heard of the immense wealth of India and began to plan a raid in this direction. In India at that time was ruled by the Ibrahim Lodi. He had angered large section of the nobility who now conspired to overthrow him. Daulat Khan Lodi, the governor of Punjab, invited Babur to invade India, and Rana Sanga, the ruler of Mewar, wanted to put an end to the Lodi ruler. Hence, he too extended help to the Babur. They felt that Akbar, after a raid, would return with the loot, but Babur occupied parts of Punjab in 1524 and not wanting Babur in India. Daulat Khan and Rana Sanga now turned against him. Babur went back to Kabul and returned in the 1525. He defeated Daulat Khan's army in Punjab and advanced towards Delhi. Ibrahim Lodi marched from the Delhi with a huge but the unorganized and indisciplined army, and he met Babur's small yet very well-trained army in the Panipat. So on the 21st April 1526, Ibrahim was defeated in the Panipat, and after this Panipat, Babur defeated the combined force of the Rajput rulers in the 1527, and the Afghan chief of the Bengal and Bihar in 1529. Babur Empire now extended from the river Oxus in the west in Bihar in the east. So Babur was a scholar of the Turkish and Persian language. He recorded his experience in the Tujke Babari. In 1530, Humayun inherited Babur's large empire. After a death battle of Kannauj in the 1540, he lost it to the Sher Shah, an Afghan chief of Bihar. Humayun then wandered about for the 15 years. In 1542, while he was in the Amarkot, his wife Hamida Banu gave birth to Jalaluddin Akbar, who was to become a greatest Mughal ruler. In 1555, Humayun recaptured Delhi and Agra and re-established Mughal ruler in India. He died in the 1556 after a fall in his library at the Purana Killa in Delhi. This is Humayun Tomb, and it is a very beautiful monument, and it is located in Delhi. Then Akbar. On Humayun's death in the 1556, his 14-year-old son Akbar was crowned the king. In the early day of Akbar reign, Bairam Khan, a trusted officer of Humayun, acted as regent person who rules on behalf of minor monarch. There are many conquests was done by the Akbar. Akbar conquered Gujarat, Bengal, Kabul, Kashmir, Sindh and Kandahar. He also conquered Orissa and northern Deccan. His empire thus stretched from the Himalaya and the Kashmir in the north to the river Godavari in the south, and from Kandahar in the west to Bengal in the east. Akbar died in the 1605. He was buried at the Sikandra near Agra. His son Salim succeeded him to the throne. Jahangir. Jahangir took interest in the welfare of his subject, and he continued the Akbar policy of winning over Rajput chief through the marriage alliance and the grant of offices. In the first year of Jahangir's reign, his son Prince Khusro revolted against him, and the prince was defeated at Lahore. Guru Arjun, the great leader of the Sikh, was executed for assisting Prince Khusro. This started a long conflict between the Sikh and Mughals. In 1613, Jahangir defeated the ruler of Mewar, Rana Amar Singh, the son of Rana Pratap. In 1620, he captured Kangra. Jahangir also established his control over the Bengal and Awadh. As soon as he ascended the throne, Emperor Jahangir installed a chain of justice at the gates of his palace. The chain was made of gold and had belts attached to it. Anyone with the grievances could pull the chain and receive a fair hearing from the emperor. Next Mughal emperor was Shah Jahan. In 1628, Prince Khurram ascended the throne at Agra as Shah Jahan, king of the world. Shah Jahan suppressed many rebellions that broke out during the early years of his reign. In the Deccan, he conquered Ahmednagar and Bijapur and Golconda, accepted his overlordship. However, his unsuccessful war in the Central Asia caused a heavy loss of men and the money. During the Shah Jahan reign, the Maratha began to increase their power under the Shahaji Bhosle, an official of the Bijapur ruler. Bhosle's son Shivaji occasionally clashed with the Mughals, and these clashes marked the beginning of the long conflict between Maratha and Mughals. There was the economic prosperity during the Shah Jahan reign. Trade expanded, especially after the arrival of European trade. Industry also flourished as Indian goods like textile were in great demand abroad. Shah Jahan was a patron of literature, music, painting, and architecture. His eldest son Dara was a great scholar, and Dara had many Sanskrit texts translated into the Persian. Shah Jahan built the Taj Mahal at Agra as a tomb for his beloved wife Mumtaz Mahal. It is a marvelous blend of Indian, Central Asian, Persian style of architecture. Designs created with the Pitra Dura decorated the wall of the Taj, and its interior has beautiful marble screens. Moti Masjid at Agra was also built by the Shah Jahan. Aurangzeb. Shah Jahan's third son Aurangzeb ascended the throne in 1658 after imprisoning his father in the Agra fort. Aurangzeb took the title Alamgir, means conqueror of the world. Under him, the Mughal Empire reached the greatest extent but also faced many problems. Aurangzeb increased the taxes payable by non Muslims and permitted the destruction of the temples. Measures like these angered his subjects, and hence the Aurangzeb had to face many revolts, such as those of the Bundelas, Sikhs, Jats, and Satnamis. He also lost the loyalty of the Rajputs. There was one tradition in the Mughal Empire, the Jagirdar and the Mansabdar. As the empire ex- expanded to encompass different regions, the Mughal recruited diverse bodies of the people, form a small nucleus of the Turkish nobles, and they expanded to include the Iranis, Mughal, Indian Muslims, Afghans, Rajputs, Marathas, and other groups. Those who joined Mughal services were enrolled as Mansabdar. The term Mansabdar refer an individual who hold a mansab, meaning a position of or rank. It was a grading system used by the Mughals to fix rank, salary, and military responsibility. Rank and salary were determined by a numeral value called Jat. The higher the Jat, the more prestigious was the noble's position in the court and the larger his salary. All the Mughal Mansabdar were paid through in the assignment of Jagir. These Jagirs can be linked to the Delhi Sultan's Ikta system, where the sultans give the Jagirs of their territory to be administered by their nobles and the state officials. And that officials, these officials were responsible for maintaining law and order and collection of land revenue. Mansabdar received their salaries as revenue assignment called Jagir, which were the somewhat like the Iktas, but unlike Muktis, most Mansabdar did not actually reside into the administer their Jagir. They only had right to the revenue of their assignment, which was collected for them by their servant, while the Mansabdar themselves served in some other part of his country. In Akbar reigns, these Jagirs were carefully assessed so that their revenue were roughly equal to the salary of the Mansabdar. I hope you have understood all the important features of the Mughal Empire. Thank you.